Greetings, fellow citizens of Disneyland. Brickey here with this week's update. Let's walk around DCA and Disneyland and look at all the 100 celebration decorations that have popped up just this week. All right, let's talk these Disney 100 medallions. I don't want to totally just say that it was a bad idea because I believe in this concept. In fact, if you would have pitched me as a designer, what should we do for Disney 100? I would have said tokens, coins, medallion, emblems, shields, signs, like this is in my wheelhouse. So I 100% believe in this design, and I can't say that it's a bad idea because it would have been the exact idea I would have pitched if I was asked. However, the execution is not right, and I'm going insane trying to figure out how they can make these better, because often they end up looking muted and gray, cold and unfriendly. And I have a couple of thoughts. Maybe the engravings need to be deeper so there's more depth to the sculpture and to the different insignias of the wishing stars, the fairy, the 100 logo, or maybe it needs to be plus with a little bit more intense of a reflective paint. The reflective paint that we saw out on Cinderella Castle at Walt Disney World, the iridescent painting, it really made the castle shine. And I'm wondering if there isn't a better substrate that could be put on these coins to make them have more of a responsive reaction to all kinds of lighting, not just when they're perfectly lit. But let's get into the lighting. So I've yet to see a lighting package that properly brings one of these tokens to life. The purple just ends up making it look more blue. I've seen other lighting packages that reflects back on it. And I was secretly hoping, because I saw these last Friday, I was secretly hoping that there was a lighting package that would solve a lot of what I've been seeing. And thus far, I don't know that it exists. So, as I've said, don't think it's a bad idea. I just don't think the execution is perfect. I'm excited to see the decorations everywhere. I always love how Disney celebrates. I do just wish that there was a way to make these work a little bit better. And I haven't given up on it because I believe they'll be here for probably a pretty long time. And I'm sure the crew that's in charge of this has the same idea of, man, there's gotta be something we can make these pop. But as we look at the token, I love the star trimming that goes all the way around the edge, 3 fairies that flank the top. I love how three-dimensional they are and how they're actually coming out of the token. I don't mind the logo. I know that it needs to not be intrusive so that it's going to match the hundreds or thousands of products and places that it's going to have to coexist. I just want to reiterate, I do like this idea, and I hope that they can figure out the execution, because like I've said now 1,000 times, and this is the part that's driving me the most crazy, I would have pitched this. Obviously, as you move around a park, different parts will have sunlight during different parts of the day. So you're never going to get all the medallions to shine perfectly at the same time. So this medallion over my shoulder is a perfect example of just how good they can look in the sunlight. But as we go around to the back, you can see when they don't have direct light shining on them, they are very, very grayed out and hard to see. However, when they're bad, they're really bad. And when they're good, they're not exactly great. This particular one that's right behind me has an amazing glare coming off the Hyperion Bridge that's reflecting on it. This is the best one I've seen, but this is bizarrely optimal lighting for the medallion to really shine in the celebration of 100 years. If you guys don't mind, I'm gonna break my own rule, and I'm going to go into Disneyland for this week's update, because I'm so in love with the idea that there's a big celebration that's kicking off. In fact, I stood in this spot for over 20 minutes trying to capture the new monorail wrap that looks so good shining in the California sun. I'm not gonna go too deep into Disneyland, but I do want to go up and see the castle. And I've been excited about those fountains ever since I saw the concept art. So now that I know the fountains are running today, I just can't wait till Friday. I should wait till Friday and get my Christmas gift in, but just a little peek won't hurt, right? Friends, it's my first look at the updated 100 version of Sleeping Beauty Castle, and I have to say, I love it. Subtle, not overstated, Not super crazy, so we know that it's for the Disney Corporation and not for Disneyland proper, because as we remember, the Diamond Celebration was way bigger than what we have here. So it's about Disney, the Walt Disney Company, and not Disneyland necessarily, but this will be the home for the celebration. I'm still a little trying to figure out all the iridescent shields and coins over in DCA and how they'll work properly. And I think my favorite idea or concept of this project is how they're focusing on the wishing star. You see the wishing star on the top of the castle. The star is featured in different areas around the park where they're also featuring characters. I like the idea that the wish, the magic of Disney, is now being looked at as a character. And I believe there's a movie coming out that's going to give the origin story of the wishing star that we've seen in so many Disney classic films. So I love that the star is becoming one of the characters, because magic is a big part of the equation and a huge part of the 100 years of success. Construction walls inside of Cars Land. You know what that means. It's time to look at all the construction that's happening this month inside of Disney's California Adventure. Ooh, I love some construction projects. Luigi's Rollickin' Roasters has some walls up around it, but it's just on the front patio. The attraction is still going. And speaking of attraction still going, Radiator Racers was down for a brief refurbishment, but it's already back up and racing, which is so great to have this one open for the big kickoff of the 100th, when I know lots of people are going to come out to the park. And this is just one of the premier attractions that makes the Disneyland Resort so special. Happy to see it back open. It does seem like, though, at some point in time, it will need to be shut down for an extended amount of time to just fix some of the wear and tear it's had over its 10 years now of being in the park. Friends, will you look at this project that is kicked off? Oh, you know I love when Disney messes around with its body of water. Let's explore this construction project and also learn a little bit about how this body of water is connected to another one you may know here at Disney's California Adventure. Is it just me, or does this look way, way bigger without any water in it? As we pan around, we can see that there's this ditch that they've dug over on the Pacific Wharf side of the body of water. And then as we go up towards Cars Land and work our way back around, you can see that this tunnel over here, this is the tunnel that connects this body of water over with the water that we'll see when we visit Grizzly Peak Rapids. Keep your eye on that beige building there, because that is an important part of this puzzle when we get on the other side. These two bodies of water are stitched together with this tunnel that you see. And whenever they drain Grizzly Rapids, that water is held in this reservoir. And there you can see the return where the water flows underneath the performance corridor over into Grizzly Peak, connecting the two waterways, where whenever they drain this attraction, the Pacific Wharf can hold that reserve. But for the first time since I've been coming here, both are bone dry. Remember when I said keep your eye on the beige building with the siding on it? That is the building that we saw from the other side, and that waterway runs right over here into Grizzly Peak. I heard a lady walk by and say, what do they do with the water when they pull it out? I've always been told that the water gets removed, treated, stored, and replaced. That's how I've come to understand how Disney treats water during California, living in these drought times. This part of the project is no big deal, as we see this happen each and every winter when it goes down for its annual maintenance. Fun fact, water destroys everything that it touches, and it's trying to kill both me and you. So it's no wonder that all the water attractions at Disneyland have to go down once a year to fight off that evil water. Coming over to the Paradise Pier side of this project, we can just see how large this body of water actually is, and also that it does not connect with the water that's inside of the Paradise Pier. As you remember, this time last year, we were watching them redo World of Color, and they had the lagoon completely drained, but there was still water inside of the Pacific Wharf. One would easily think that this body of water would be connected to the body of water that it literally shares a border with. Just another interesting problem solving of Disney Imagineering, knowing we're gonna have a water ride and at times we're gonna need someplace to put that water. Let's put it over around the DCA food court, the Pacific Wharf. Soon to be soon to be themed after Big Hero 6. And I cannot pronounce that word, so I'm not gonna try. Okay, I will. San Francisco, San Tokyo, San Francisco, Tokyo, San Francisco plus Tokyo. Got it, nailed it. Now as far as what's happening down below me, could it be that where they're breaking out of the surface and digging down low, that's gonna be needed infrastructure to put together the new theming that's gonna take place on the bridge? Could they be digging down low below the water surface to get something that grandiose coming up from the ground out of the water to make this bridge feel way more like the theme related to Big Hero 6 and San Francisco? So, nailed it again. I knew this project was happening on Hollywood Boulevard, but I didn't know it was to this scale. If you look, you can see that they have taken out most, if not all, of the major windows that actually open. There's windows that are missing in the top right. Looks like down on the floor below that some are taken out, others are taped up. The doorway is removed. This is a pretty extensive refurb on a building that's kind of bizarre, just a very weird prop. I would have loved if they would have imagined this into the 100th celebration and used this land that's designed after the idea of when Walt actually came to California to celebrate this story in a place that's designed to look like where the story begins. Pretty massive, massive project. It'll be interesting to see where it goes. An interesting part of the park to put this much effort into, as I would consider it one of the most dead spots of DCA. Friends, I have sworn off the Disney Food Festival, so instead of looking at the food, let's look at some of the cultural offerings of the Lunar New Year and listen to some of the sounds of the land and listen to some of the performers that are performing the sound of the Lunar New Year. Now let's go to the very best part of the celebration. Let's check out the parade over in Hollywoodland. It is very cool to see the Lunar New Year parade go down the entire parade route, spanning all of Disney's California Adventure, versus just going down to the end of the pier, turning around and going back. This is a very exciting upgrade for everybody out here celebrating the Lunar New Year with Mulan.
Please join them in welcoming Oswald the Lucky Rabbit as we celebrate the Year of the Rabbit. The flower is a comforting symbol for Mulan. She learned from her ancestors that the wise and powerful dragon dances across the sky to scare away bad luck and good. When Mulan was a little girl, her mother taught her that traditionally, the ribbon dance was performed. Mulan learned to respect the strength and discipline of the martial arts from her father. This
How great did that parade look with the Hyperion Theater as the backdrop? It looked like a real Chinatown with having the Lunar New Year parade come through like that. That was absolutely amazing. Once again showing this part of the park, it's not broken, it can be fixed. It just needs a little something happening back here, but what a beautiful backdrop for that parade. I was like, yeah, I'll stop and watch it. Had no idea how fantastic it was gonna look and how fun it would end up being. Friends, DCA is not the only place that's celebrating the 100th. Let's jump over to the Disneyland Hotel to see if we can't find a little 100 celebration over there. Look at this little gem that's just waiting to meet us right when we step inside of the Disneyland Hotel, where you can see a collection of pieces from the Alice comedies, which is going way back to the beginning of this 100 celebration. And look at this version of Walt. Tell me that guy isn't ready to kick some ass and take some names. Love this display and how it's cut out in different little vignettes, creating distance between the different little characters in the backdrop, which creates depth and fun, but also a really great spot to get a photo taken right next to old school badass Walt. So cool to see the Disneyland Hotel going back to the beginning of the Walt Disney story with the Alice comedies. And I love that they had this sign worked into that display. Really fun photo spot, worthy of checking out if, like me, you like to walk into the park because you want to squeeze out just a little more magic. Friends, I hope you had a great time with this week's update, checking out the details of the 100 that's kicking off this Friday, as well as all the fun stuff happening over in DCA. I am so pumped and excited for this celebration because I've learned over the years that nobody can throw a party like Disneyland, and I'm so excited to celebrate the Walt Disney Company, and I can't wait that I'll be here this Friday for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. It's gonna be awesome. The simple pleasures, the simple pleasures. So friends from the center of Main Street, USA, thank you so much for watching. And if you want to check out a video about Disney's history, because you're getting all excited about the 100, watch this video right here where I take you to 10 closed Disney attractions, why they left, and did they make the park better. Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to see you again soon on Main Street, USA.